chapter 9, but it says 8 here.
That's a mistake. It is 9.
Okay.
As described in this chapter, Indra, the king of heaven, killed Vishvarup, and therefore Vishvarup's father performed a yagya to kill Indra. When Vritrasura appeared from that yagya, the demigods, in fear, sought shelter of the Supreme Personality of Godhead and glorified him. Because of affection for the demons, Vishvarup secretly supplied them the remnants of yagya. When Indra learned about this, he beheaded Vishvarup, but he later regretted killing Vishvarup because Vishvarup was a Brahmana. Although competent to neutralize the sinful reactions for killing a Brahmana, Indra did not do so. Instead, he accepted the reactions. Later, he distributed these reactions among the land, water, trees, and women in general. Since the land accepted 1/4 of the sinful reactions, a portion of the land turned into desert. The trees were also given 1/4 of the sinful reactions, and therefore they drip sap, which is prohibited for drinking. Because women accepted 1/4 of the sinful reactions, they are untouchable during their menstrual period. Since water was also infested with sinful reactions, when bubbles appear in water, it cannot be used for any purpose. After Vishvarup was killed, his father Tvashta performed a sacrifice to kill Indra. Unfortunately, if mantras are chanted irregularly, they yield an opposite result. This happened when Tvashta performed this yagya. While performing the sacrifice to kill Indra, Tvashta chanted a mantra to increase Indra's enemies. But because he chanted the mantra wrong, the sacrifice produced an asura named Vritrasura, of whom Indra was the enemy. When Vritrasura was generated from the sacrifice, his fierce features made the whole world afraid, and his personal effulgence diminished even the power of the demigods. Finding no other means of protection, the demigods began to worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the enjoyer of all the results of sacrifice, who is supreme throughout the entire universe. The demigods all worshipped him because ultimately no one but him can protect a living entity from fear and danger. Seeking shelter of a demigod instead of worshipping the Supreme Personality of Godhead is compared to trying to cross the ocean by grasping the tail of a dog. A dog can swim, but that does not mean that one can cross the ocean by grasping a dog's tail. Being pleased with the demigods, the Supreme Personality of Godhead advised them to approach Dadichi to beg him for the bones of his body. Dadichi would comply with the request of the demigods, and with the help of his bones, Vritrasura could be killed. So text 1. Shishuka vacha tasya asam Vishvarupasya Shirangsi Trini Bharata Somapitam Surapitam Anahadam Iti Shushruma Shishuka vacha Tasyasam Vishvarupasya Shirangsi Trini Bharata Somapitam Surapitam Anadam iti Shushruma Tasyasan Vishvarupasya Shirangsi Trini Bharata Somapitam Surapitam Anadam iti Shushruma
Shri Shri Shukavacha Tasya Vishvarupasya Shiram Sri Bharata Somapitam Surapitam Anadam iti Sushruma
Sri Sukavacha
Sri Sukavacha
Tasyasan Vishvarupasya
Tasyasan Vishvarupasya
Shirang Sitrini Bharata
Shiram Sri Bharata
Somapitam Surapitam
Somapitam Surapitam
Annatam iti Sushruma
Anadam iti Sushruma
Sri Sukavacha
Sri Sukavacha
Tasyasan Vishvarupasya
Tasyasan Vishvarupasya
Shirang Sitrini Bharata
Shiram Sri Bharata
Somapitam Surapitam
Somapitam Surapitam
Anadam iti Sushruma
Anadam iti Sushruma
Shri Shukavacha.
Shri Shukavacha
Shri Shukadeva Goswami said,
Shri Shukadeva Goswami said
Tasya
of him
Asan
Asan
there were Vishvarupasya
Vishvarupasya
of Vishvarup, the priest of the demigods.
of Vishvarup, the priest of the demigods.
Shiransi,
Shiransi
heads.
heads.
Trini,
Trini
three. Bharata,
Bharata
O Maharaj Parikshit.
O Maharaj Parikshit
Somapitam,
Somapitam
used for drinking the beverage soma.
used for drinking the beverage soma.
Surapitam,
Surapitam
used for drinking wine.
used for drinking wine.
Anna Adam,
Anadam
used for eating.
used for eating.
Iti, thus.
Thus
Shushruma,
Sushruma
I have heard by the Parampara system.
I have heard by the Parampara system.
Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Shri Shukadeva Goswami continued, Vishvarup, who was engaged as the priest of the demigods, had 3 heads. He used one to drink the beverage somaras, another to drink wine, and the third to eat food. O King Parikshit, thus I have heard from authorities. Purport. One cannot directly perceive the kingdom of heaven, its king and other inhabitants, or how they perform their various engagements, for no one can go to the heavenly planets. Although modern scientists have invented many powerful space vehicles, they cannot even go to the moon, not to speak of other planets. By direct experience, one cannot learn anything beyond the range of human perception. One must hear from authorities. Therefore, Shukadeva Goswami, a great personality, says, what I am describing to you, O King, is what I have heard from authoritative sources. This is the Vedic system. The Vedic knowledge is called Shruti because it must be received by being heard from authorities. It is beyond the realm of our false experimental knowledge. Shri Shukavacha Tasya Sam Vishvarupasya Shirangsi Trini Bharata Somapitam Surapitam Anadimiti Shushruma. Shri Shukadeva Goswami continued, Vishvarup, who was engaged as the priest of the demigods, had 3 heads. He used one to drink the beverage somaras, another to drink wine, and the third to eat food. O King Parikshit, thus I have heard from authorities. Tamagyanti Mirandasya Vinanjana Shavakaya Shakshudum Meditanyana Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Panchakalpatarubhyascha
Kripasindhuyeva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha.
Jai Shri Krishna
Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare.
So this chapter is called The Appearance appearance of the demon Vritrasura. So Vishvarup, who's named here, he was you have read the whole story, so you know that. Maybe some of you don't know, but all this is because Indra he offended his spiritual master Brihaspati. He didn't show him proper respect, and then he lost power. And because he became weak, when he becomes weak, the demons become strong. So the demons, they understood that now the demigods are weak, and immediately they declare war against them. and therefore the demigods have gone to Brahma to ask for help, and Brahma said, you go to Tvashta, and you go to Vishvarup, his father is Tvashta, and you take direction from him. So here is, but they have to. One thing with Vishvarup is that his father is a demigod, his mother is a demon. So he's like, so if the only thing the demigods have to do, they just have to tolerate that he has an inclination towards the demons. So like we read the whole chapter here, it will unfold what will happen with Vishvarup, and why Vritrasura appears, things like that. But Srila Prabhupada here in the purport, he immediately he doesn't talk so much about Vishvarup and anything. He just goes to the point about faith, because Shukadeva Goswami here, he says, O King Parikshit, thus I have heard from authorities. That is his, that's what Srila Prabhupada's write the purpose on. That we have to hear the Vedic, we have to hear from authorities. So faith, devotional service, start with faith. We are all here because we have some faith. Why did we come to Krishna consciousness? Because we have faith that why did I come to Krishna consciousness? I had strong faith that this is going to give me what I want. That was my faith. That I had strong faith. It was very like, in one sense, that's simple minded, simple. And then maybe we get what we want, and then we don't feel we need Krishna so much. We get what we come to Krishna. It's like the normal way people approach God, actually. They approach God when there is suffering like anything, and then we get what we want, and when we got what we want, we forget about God. That's the general tendency. And then when we get what we want, we forget about God, and then when He takes it away again, we might have become so attached and conditioned to our new situation that when it's taken away, it becomes so bewildered. Because once the attachments and why one approached God at all, one had this strong desire. So one becomes very bewildered, and then one's faith is very much tested. How much do you believe in Krishna now? You see, now you should serve Krishna without motivations, without. You are Krishna's eternal servant. You have to serve without expecting any results. Krishna explains this in Bhagavad Gita. Karmani evadikaraste ma paleshu karachana ma karma kalahetu nate samvasva karmani. That you have a right to perform your duty, but you are not entitled to the fruits of action. So you're no right to enjoy the fruits. So even if you you get fruits, you are not entitled to enjoy them. That's also a tough one for a conditioned soul, not to enjoy the fruits of one's action. So So we easily become attached to the fruits. We want to enjoy home, wife, kids, relatives, friends, bank balance. We want to enjoy everything. So we become attached. And then further explanation or translation of this verse. Never consider yourself the cause of the results of your activities. So we are not the cause of the results. The results is up to Krishna. Whatever happens in our lives is Krishna's mercy. But we're very conditioned to think like this. Oh, it's me. I did this, therefore this. But it's Krishna's mercy. We cannot even sing a tune. We cannot even do anything without Krishna sanctioning it. So if we preach to somebody and he won't listen, or if he listens, or he won't listen, or he takes a book, or he don't take a book, it's not up to us. It's we can make an endeavor and try to be an instrument, but the result is up to Krishna. And we should understand that we are not the doer. So, and then the last line now is Sangusta Karmani, that we should not because we don't get the result. Okay, I don't get the result now. Then I will not serve. Then I will not do my duty. If I don't get the result, why should I perform my duty? Why should I chant 16 rounds? Why should I serve? Why should I do all these things if I don't get my fruits? So we should not be attached to not doing our duty either. So therefore the whole Krishna conscious process starts with faith. Then we come to Krishna consciousness because we have faith. And then we associate with devotees. That increases our faith. Because we see, they are doing nicely, they are developing, and they look peaceful, and also they get what they need, and like that. So and then we engage in chanting and hearing, and we from that we become purified. So when we become more and more purified from our anarthas, then also our faith increases. It is the anarthas which hinder, stops, or makes it difficult for our faith to grow. Because because the mind, all these attachments in the mind, they they are there, and all the time they the mind always, what about this? Why? How can I get it? I want this, this desire. How can I fulfill this desire? I don't get it fulfilled here in Krishna consciousness. So then one loses faith, and then I don't want to do my duty. I have to fulfill my desire somewhere else. Somehow I have to fulfill this desire. So, so this is the mind. Okay, so the mind might say, okay, you don't. The mind is a very tricky fellow. We don't get the fruits. Okay, but then I can't enjoy. But then I will enjoy becoming like one with Krishna. This feeling of everything now. Now you're Krishna conscious, and then actually it's just a trick of the mind, and then you can say, and then you can enjoy again. It's just so we really conditioned in this material world with all these desires, but we still have to be faithful. We have to have faith, and we have to be faithful, because by being faithful means we're doing our duty, we follow the process, or else we will just continue in this material world. This is also Krishna says, Ashraddha dana purusha dharmasya parantapa aprapya mam nivartante mrityu samsara vartmani. That those who are not faithful on this path of devotional service, they cannot attain Krishna, but they return to the path of repeated birth and death. So the whole thing is the purification process is very clear, very simple, but the whole arrangement with the Krishna consciousness is just to make this. It's like if you have an engine, it won't start. It won't start. Maybe the choke is like it's there, but it should be there. You put it there, and it starts. So the whole thing is just to make this adjustment from I am the enjoyer, I don't want to bow down for anyone, to I am the servant of Krishna. And it's just in the heart, deep there in the heart. And the anartha is that we have this idea that I am the enjoyer, I am the controller. But by being faithful on this path, by becoming sincere and sincerely, it's possible to make this little change, but it's a gradual process, because we have been here so long in the material world and become so conditioned to think, I am the enjoyer, I have to control. But simply by following the process, this will be changed, and all the time we will be tested on this I am the enjoyer, and have to adjust this to I am the servant. And that is our natural constitutional position, and will make us happy. Then we are free from this illusion of thinking ourselves the enjoyer. Then we take shelter of Krishna, of the internal potency, and we are able to please the spiritual master. And when the spiritual master is pleased, he can impart knowledge onto us, and we will be able to realize more. We become more purified, and but it might sometimes seem impossible. We seem to be so conditioned and so attached and so stubbornly proud and ignorant. And so it's a gradual process, and actually Krishna engages us according to our capacity, and by living a regulated life, we can also mitigate the pains of material existence. And Krishna also explains in the Bhagavad Gita. And we can make gradual process on this path, but we have to be patient. That's also explained in Nectar of Instruction. The Rupa Goswami explains 6 things that are favorable to devotional service: Utsaha, Nishchaya, Dairyat. Dairyat is patience, and Utsaha is enthusiasm. Enthusiasm means to act for Krishna. Enthusiasm is not just big smile or something like that. It's shown actually that you act. That's enthusiasm. Like one person, I don't remember if it was mentioned here, but one person came to Srila Prabhupada and said, "Oh, Srila Prabhupada, I don't have any enthusiasm. I don't feel any enthusiasm for Krishna consciousness." Or he just said, I'm not enthusiastic. And Srila Prabhupada said, "Just be enthusiastic." And when Srila Prabhupada said that, it just hits him, just be enthusiastic. And then changed in him. Then he became enthusiastic. Started to serve, doing things. So enthusiasm and Utsaha Nishchaya, endeavor with confidence. So again, this faith comes in. Confidence that by doing devotional service, everything will work out nicely. Even you might have so many problems, it feels impossible to make this change in the heart. This problem, that problem, the mind's going mad, problem with relationships, problem with dealings. It's like problem you probably had in your last life too. It's not, you've been struggling with these problems. Probably because this is the way we act that make this problem come to us. So we are greatly fortunate to be able to now become purified by being engaged in Krishna consciousness, to rectify all these things.